What is happening, family? I am back in the building, and look who's decided to come back from vacation. Look, look, early off vacation. First, we got to pick on Larry, man. How does it feel to be in a place where you can take vacation for a whole month and not even worry about nothing? How does it feel?
I'll tell you, man, it feels good. It feels like it is the product of a lot of hard work and years of putting in effort. It feels good. It feels like how it's supposed to feel, I'd imagine. But I'll tell you what feels better is being able to actually go out there where my family is with my family has that ranch and be able to walk out of the house without a mask and not have to worry about running into anybody. That part feels really nice.
Doesn't that just give you some kind of a feeling of clarity and freedom and just it just makes you feel like you won with nature. I can only imagine what that must have been like. Man.
Yeah, it was pretty wonderful, I have to admit. So, and I know you live in a house, I live in a condo, so every time I walk out my front door, I'm having to see if there's anybody coming down the hallway or down the stairwell. I got a mask up as I come and go and sanitize. It was nice to be able just to say, you know what? I'm just going to go out and go walk outside and don't even think about a mask.
So, hey, I'm happy for you, but you back now, man, and we got some people that have missed the brother. We got a couple in there: D. Weed, Cynthia, Charles, Tressa, William, Layla. They missed the brother. They glad to have a brother back for a change. You know what I'm saying? But I tried to hold it down. I told them get ready because we're going to be doing Marvel's Hawkeye and. There's another show we're supposed to do that's pretty big, and I keep forgetting it, but we're going to be hitting that one too. But for now, man, let me shout out everybody in this building. Everybody I spoke of, we're glad to see you back. We're glad to have the living legend back with a wonderful shirt and hoodie he's wearing. And Reggie's in the building. Yeah, that's a nice joint right there. It make you get motivated, get them life gains up. Get them gains up, baby.
Get those gains up.
So, Big Larry, what have you heard about Marvel's Eternals? What have you heard? Tell me what you've heard about it.
Well, I'll tell you. I'm almost finished. I was watching it. I only have maybe about 15, 20 minutes left of it. So, okay. But from what I've heard of it, people were saying that it was just some people were smashing it, just totally. They just didn't like it because it has a different vibe than other Marvel movies. And I think that's what happens when you bring in these sort of like highfalutin Oscar-winning directors. They come in and they have a different approach. And it has, the movie it has a different style, different pacing than a lot of the other Marvel movies. Yep. And that translates on the screen. And a lot of people that are just straight up comic book fans or comic book movie fans, I should say, are not going to like it.
Yeah. But I'm a comic book movie fan. I'm a comic book purist. I'm a superhero fan and all that. And I thought that I wasn't going to like it. And let me show you why, Larry. Let me show you why. Rotten Tomatoes destroyed this movie. This was the worst acclaim Rotten Tomatoes has given any Marvel movie. But look at the audience score, Larry. Look at the audience score.
Now I think that we've seen this a few times when it comes to various movies that have either just the overall story or the characters are beloved by the people. We've seen where those audience scores and the critic scores are completely out of whack. And I'll be honest with you, I kind of agree with the critics on this one. I'm not saying it was a bad movie, but I have some pretty strong feelings about it. And part of it is, and I don't know if I'm jumping ahead too much, but I think Marvel sort of did Chloe Zhao a disservice by throwing her in there on this movie right now, because having, part of it was I didn't think I was going to be able to see this movie. And so I didn't want to speak about this just totally, just completely ignorant of the subject matter or anything, and because when I've had very limited knowledge of the Eternals when I was reading comic books. I just didn't read a lot of them. So I went back over the last week or so and read like years of the original Jack Kirby Eternals comics so I can speak more knowledgeably about it. And I have to say, I think Marvel did the Eternals completely wrong, and they did Chloe Zhao completely wrong. This should have not have been one movie. The Eternals should have been probably a series of movies, because there's so much when you start talking about Thena and Cersei and Ikaris and all of them. There's there's probably 3 to 4 movies built in there before they should have gotten to this movie. I mean, it was just, I don't know. I think they did her wrong. I don't, to be honest with you, I think she did an okay job on there. That's a different style than most comic book people are used to or probably were looking for. But I think because they just didn't give her enough. I think there should have been at least 2 or 3 movies before this about the Eternals. I don't think there's anything she could have done to really save this movie and pump it up.
Well, I feel a little different from Larry. In terms of Marvel movies, for me, it's middle of the pack. But I went into this thing thinking, man, this is going to be hot garbage. That's what I went into it thinking. Because of what I just showed you. Because I was already prepared. Because of this, I was thinking, you rated Captain Marvel, Thor, Captain America, the first. So you rated all that higher than this. So I'm going in there thinking this is going to be some garbage. I get in there and I'm pleasantly surprised. It wasn't garbage. For me, the visuals on this thing were amazing. I enjoyed that part. Loved the visual. One thing that we have complained about in the past when it comes to comic book heroes or any hero that has source material, we've complained that they don't go deep dive into their origin. Well, this movie took 2.5 hours to do that. So for that, hey, I'm fine with it. Now, what this thing felt more like, it felt more like a DC movie in terms of the pacing.
That's exactly what I was thinking, man. I was about to say that earlier. I was going to say this should have been a DC movie rather than a Marvel movie, because that's what it felt like.
Now, the pacing now, I don't know what other stuff Larry talking about, but the pacing for me felt like a DC movie. It literally felt like they paced this thing out like a DC movie.
Yeah.
Reason being was because the Eternals are 10 beings created by the Celestials. And since Larry has seen it, we can go into spoiler territory. The Celestials, basically, if you guys saw Guardians 2, where you had Ego, the living planet, he was a Celestial. He dropped this little seed in the earth, and you saw what happened. Similar concept here, with the exception, they messed up because they also created a deviant, which was supposed to be a predator to kill predators on these planets they send them on, and they got all the way the hell out of control. The deviants got out of control. So to take care of the deviants, the Celestials created millions of Eternals, millions, with all kinds of superpowers, and we get a family of 10. They're like a family, except there's a whole lot of intertwining stories going on within that Eternals family. So yes, they are fighting deviants on Earth. They start back 7,000 years ago, and they've been on Earth from 7,000 years ago till now. And what they really did with the story, they focused this story heavily on the love interests of those 10 and the family dynamic of those 10. And some of those 10 wanted to save humanity because they saw good in humanity, and some just saying, to hell with humanity. I'm here to protect the Celestials. Having said that, Larry, what did you think about the way they put the narrative in this story?
I mean, it was, there's some of these things I have a hard time getting past. Some of the decision making that they did with some things, like what's up, Miss K? I see you. You know,
don't forget Buzz 703. Don't forget the 703
in the house.
Yeah, man. And Miss Vine and Roses, she's back. What's up?
You know, like Makari and Sprite, both of them in the original comics were both male, not female. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, there was no need to change them from male to female because there's enough Eternal characters. You could have just picked 2 more females if you needed 2 more females. I mean, you didn't have to.
So some of your issue was gender bending, and I know you ain't like for none of the gay sex scene nor the heterosexual sex scene, I'm assuming.
I mean, I mean, to be honest with you, part of me just felt like it just wasn't really necessary. You know? It just wasn't really necessary. And another thing is, there's a couple of things that I had a problem with. I mean, there's a few things when I looked at this. One of them is that I think they did the Deviants really, really wrong. Like, they had the Deviants going after them like they were just a bunch of dumb, mindless animals that were just attacking and killing. But the Deviants in the comic books were regular thinking, you know, intelligent, you know, knowledge-seeking, you know, individuals that were deviants. They were malformed, and in the comics they were humans, Eternals, and deviants. They were all part of the same species. They were all part of man. You had deviants who were inconsistent when they gave birth. They were inconsistent. They never had the same forms. You had humans, which were just humans, and then you had the Eternals, but they were all part of man. And they just threw all that crap out the window and made them space aliens. And that's not even how Jack Kirby, who created the damn Eternals, wrote the characters.
Man, now you know Marvel gonna bend these stories, all of them. They go to the source a little bit, but they do bend the hell out of them. I mean, they don't break them, but they do bend the hell out of them. Introducing, coming to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, the big homie that I've got to get up here. We've got to do a video on Titans. We ain't forgot about y'all that I said we're gonna do that. It's the big homie, One Take, Big Dog. What's going on, One Take?
Man, what's going on with y'all? I think I just fell in on a Larry rant. I've been missing them, man.
The dude is back. He's back.
You know?
And if there's anybody that know how to get the brother fired up, damn it, I'm good for something.
You know, One Take should love this movie. He should love this movie because it feels like a DC movie.
Whoa. One Take, he come up here with backhanded compliments and shit. So One Take, we've kind of golly. we
this man, yeah.
So, but One Take, I'm the one that literally said the pacing felt like DC. So that ain't on Larry. I'm the one that started talking. He was feeling the same way though. But I want to get your perspective. How did you feel about the movie overall?
I'm gonna be honest. I really enjoyed this movie. Like, and I think for the reason I think I really enjoyed it because it didn't feel like every other Marvel movie to me. I think it kind of it got into that feeling towards the end where we have the whole world ending type stuff. But before that, I actually felt like the stakes were like pretty high. I felt like stuff can actually happen to these characters. But before, like I said, before we got to like that end part where we started to find out like the world's in danger, you know, before that, I was just like, I like this. And like the pacing, I think, was kind of off at times, but for the most part, I was cool with it. Even though I do feel like there was times where we spent with we didn't spend enough time with characters as lengthy as the film is. And like
that's what Larry was saying. Larry felt like because of that, they should have made 2 of these or at least 3, so you could get more time with certain characters.
Yeah, because I kind of feel like we rushed through a few of them.
Imagine this, Lamont.
Yeah.
Imagine this. Imagine that we skipped Iron Man 1, 2, 3. Imagine we skipped Thor. Imagine we skipped Black Panther. We skipped Civil War. We skipped all the Spider-Man movies. Imagine we skipped all that and went just like straight to Endgame. That's what this felt like. It felt like they skipped all of that and just with this crew and just went straight to Endgame.
I'm fine with the way they did it, to be honest with you. I didn't. There was only 2 Eternals whose backstory I would even really give a care about, and one of them, I'm going to say her name now, Ajax. Ajax backstory. I would have liked to have got more of that because of the way they ended her. The way they ended her in this movie, and I would love to know what kind of mind tricks she played with herself. All these other worlds where the Celestials did the same damn thing, and all of a sudden you get to Earth, and now you have a conscience. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of that backstory. And Ikaris, we know good and damn well Ikaris ain't dead. So one take, we spoiled it here because Larry done seen it now. We know good and damn well Ikaris ain't dead. I did like how they paid off Ikaris from the Greek mythology, where if you fly too close to the sun, your wings catch on fire, you fall to Earth. Only difference is with this Ikaris, when he realized he had fucked up, his ass jumped in the air, flew to the sun, and committed suicide, so to speak. Now, that's a character I wouldn't mind getting a little more of, because he was conflicted because he was in love with Cersei. And Larry, I'm gonna have to spoil this for you, Larry. The 2 mid-credit scenes play a part in this movie, because I hate to say this is another movie where the mid-credit scenes and the allure, not the scenes itself, but the allure they bring is just as intriguing as the damn movie itself, especially the second one. Especially the second one with Black Knight. They didn't come out and say his name, but that's who he's gonna be. If you didn't know. And Larry, I had to do some digging. I had to talk to E-Man. I finally figured it out. Your boy Blade gets introduced in the last credit scene of this movie.
No, I haven't seen the last credit scene yet because I still have a few minutes left of it. But
so look on one tape face. You didn't hear that little voice.
He had like a look of acknowledgement, like, wait,
I was thinking, I thought the camera was gonna pan over and see who it was. Because I saw it there one time, so I'm just like, I couldn't catch it that quick.
So it's Blade, Mahershala Ali's Blade, and this was just confirmed like 2 hours ago by the director of the movie. That's his voice. And what you're gonna see, Larry, in one take, what you just saw, you know how we've been talking about the Midnight Suns and that band getting together. Well, that's exactly what you're seeing. They already got a Moon Knight movie coming, so you know he's going to be part of it. Now you got Black Knight going to be part of it, and then the fucking Ebony Blade. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Lord have Larry. All I got to say is this sword. I don't know how the MCU going to do it, because you know they bend a lot of stuff now. They bendy, but Larry, this sword do everything Mjolnir does and can cut through anything. I don't give a damn if you the Hulk. I don't give a damn if you adamantium. I don't give a damn if you vibranium. The sword can cut through it. It can cut through time and space. And here's another thing the sword can do. You can be on Earth Infinite 3 in the multiverse, and the wielder of that sword can have that sword pull him through to wherever the sword is, anywhere in the multiverse. Anywhere. Mjolnir can't do that. So
that's crazy.
If he loses his sword or drops his sword, he can hold his hand up just like Thor do Mjolnir, and the sword will come right back to him. Now, I don't know if Marvel gonna make that ebony sword that powerful. I don't know. I mean, because if you do,
well, we don't know. Maybe Mjolnir can do that because they threw all those rules out the window with What If after they showed they showed what's his name just using the Infinity Stones to just crack through the fabric and just go from one universe to the other where the stones weren't supposed to work, but they kept on working. So
Larry, I don't know. That's animation. I don't know if they're gonna do that on the big screen. And speaking of which, Larry, how did you feel about the way they took the Eternals and kind of, tried to tie together what happened with Thanos and the snap to what happened with the Eternals, and how Thanos, in essence, he stopped it for a year and then he sped it back up? How'd you like about how they brought that part together? One take, I told you I know how to get them. I told you. I told
I mean, there's no need to recycle ideas. You know?
Well,
there's enough material. There's no need to recycle ideas. You know?
I don't think they had a choice, Larry, just because they want to keep the continuity of the timeline going. And, you know, because I was thinking to myself, you probably really didn't have to say anything. You could have just kept it moving, but they glossed over it. And in one of the post credits, you'll understand why they had to bring up Thanos. I'm not going to spoil you on that one, Larry, but there's 2 post credits. And one of them, you'll understand why they had to bring up Thanos. So, one take, how did you feel about them and the way they kind of patchwork the snaps?
I didn't mind that at all, actually. I thought, because like I wanted like some sort of explanation as to like what was going on and why this is happening now. And to me, I think it makes sense. And yeah, you probably could have spent a little bit more time on it. I think that's one of the things about the film. Like you could have spent more time on certain things and less on others. But in that sense right there, it's something that definitely wasn't necessarily needed. But like you said, with the other things that was going on towards the end, I like that little bit of information that we got, you know, and their reasoning behind why things are happening right now. Because I think that's something we often ask, like, why now, and why not any time before this? So I thought I was pretty cool with that, to be honest.
Yeah. Let me save that picture, boy. I'm about to show you. I'm about to give up all the goodies too quick. If you can't tell, I was fired up by that last post credit, man, because that was kind of, you know, just as much as the first one, that was a parallel to where we're going to go. And we're going to be sitting here having these conversations a lot in the future coming up. But just let me
ask you, Lamont.
Go ahead.
What did you think about them casting Gemma Chan as Cersei? Because I like her as an actress. I think she's a beautiful woman.
Right.
But I think she was wrong for this role.
Oh.
Larry, I ain't gonna say wrong. I'm gonna say okay. Like I wasn't blown away by it. If you know what I'm saying, I wasn't underwhelmed by her role, but I wasn't blown away by it. Now, do you want to know who I was blown away with, Larry? You should already know.
Angelina Jolie.
Lord have mercy, yes. Boy, let me get the hell up out of here.
All right.
Boy.
I don't know how she does it, man. I think she must have sold her soul or something because she looks fantastic. She is not falling apart at all. You know,
Larry. Not only that, but they was knocking the Greek god Athena by calling her Thena. As a matter of fact, people, if you watch the movie, you guys have watched this part. The Celestials lied to them and told them they was from a planet called Olympus when they really just took them to a little garden where they basically pumped them out themselves. And the whole movie, her confliction with having the memories of what really happened, they kept coming back through. Now, they did need to explain that a little more, in my opinion. Like, what has she seen that is so strong that it's causing these inflictions of memory? They made it seem like it was a disease, and that wasn't really the case. But anyway, I'm digressing. Her playing that role and then trying to stay tough, but stay soft, but at the same time being like a military leader that didn't show any emotion to the point where Gilgamesh died for her and she showed emotion, right to the point of being able to kill a deviant with fake emotion. Man, I was on that ride, Larry. I was on that ride. And when she finally got her a little piece of Ikaris, I was like, let them fight some more. Because she looked like she was ready to get that business in with Ikaris, because she was like, I've been waiting to fight your ass.
Right.
So one take, who was your favorite character? Then Larry, I want to get your favorite character.
Oh, mine definitely was Thena. She was a scene stealer. And I think when you looking at the film, I think Cersei was supposed to be like the centerpiece, but I think you get all of your emotions and stuff from Thena and like her relationship with Gilgamesh. When you see that early during the flashback and how they like, hey, we have to take your memory, and it's like she's gonna completely lose everything that she is, and then the story continues, and you find out why these things are happening to her, and like she's not tripping. Like, no, she knows what y'all have been doing this entire time has been bad. That's like, I'm like, this is really good. And then all of her fight scenes, I mean, every single last one of them is just great. And I love when people, it's just like the thrill of the fight for her is another just great thing. It's, and you're right, when she was fight Ikaris, she's like, he said, you never had to fight me. She said, but I've been dying to. Like, so I'm just like, okay, it's time to get it in. Like,
it's time to get it in. Like, man, for a minute there, did either one of y'all get a feeling Ikaris, like they had a little scene in the beginning of the movie where it kind of seemed like Ikaris might would have had the hots for Thena a little bit, but he didn't. He did. It kind of felt like there was that kind of energy there, but it really wasn't. And it was when they kind of got back right before Babylon, and they had a scene together, and they was trying to get everything done, and it almost felt as though he was walking away from Cersei. Basically, kind of seemed like he was partnering up with her. When, in all honesty, that really wasn't the case. It was just phenomenal acting by Angelina Jolie. I mean, just pure phenomenal. Now, Larry, who would you like the best out of that 10?
I probably liked Kingo the best. I thought he was funny, man. I liked the way he rolled. He was just like the whole thing about, oh yeah, how'd you get away? And he was like, oh, that's my great grandfather, and that's my great grandfather, and that's my grandfather. And he was talking about his valet. First thought he was a vampire and kept trying to stake him. You know, stuff like that was funny, man. That's
And Larry, he was doing reality TV. Larry, he had his homeboy filming everything that was going on with them. And then Larry, he was the best wingman ever because homeboy came with like 20 cameras.
Man. He really did, and kept on filming no matter what. And that scene where Kingo took out that deviant, and he was laying up under him with goop dripping off, and he said, "Did you get that?" And he was like, "Yeah."
He killed it. He was funny.
Man, and then the dancing, and homeboy had a private jet he was flying there. Y'all see that?
Yeah, dude was living life right. You know?
Now, but here's my thing. What was this just uncanny love he had for Ikaris? He was blindly following Ikaris. Talk to us about that. My man was blindly following Ikaris anywhere he wanted to go.
See, that was one of the things I feel like that wasn't flushed out enough. Because
that's what Larry. That's what Larry. That's Larry's point again.
It felt so weird. I'm just like, I was expecting him at some point to, like, we see him in the distance and him loading up, you know, a shot for Ikaris when they was having that big fight, but it never came. Man, like when he said he was gonna leave, he actually left. I didn't expect him to not show back up in the film to like the very, and I would have felt some type of way. I gotta lie, I'd been pretty mad. I'm like, dude, we legit almost just lost, and you left because of this guy. This guy ended up switching at the end, but like you were nowhere to be found. That was just strange to me how he was so down for him, and even after he told him, like, yeah, I've been pretty much been lying to y'all this entire time. That just felt off to me, you know.
Yeah.
Real off to me.
How you just feel some about of the characters?
I mean, some of the characters, they just didn't give them enough time to develop because they didn't give them multiple movies like they did with the Avengers. And I think as a consequence, we just didn't get to know them enough and care about them enough. Like Cersei's character is supposed to be like a lighthearted party girl, but who's powerful as crap. And Gemma Chan she's so stoic. She's a great actress. She can't play a lighthearted party girl. They should have had her play somebody else, and they should have found somebody else to play that character. And the same thing with Sprite. Sprite is supposed to be like this, like, fun sort of super prankster who's giving people a hard time, but I don't feel like we ever really got to feel that about well, first it was a him, but then they changed it to a her, but we never really got to feel that because they were always in the midst of something serious.
Yeah, I was fine with Sprite. And I looked at Sprite kind of to some degree as the snarf or the somewhat comic relief of the group. Just because she was midget sized and she wanted to have the emotions, the feelings of humans. So I kind of had always looked at her like that. But I was very upset when they gave her a breakthrough scene of stabbing Cersei on that mountain, on that volcano. That I was like, I ain't care for that. I ain't care for that.
Yeah, the reason I didn't like, because like it's one of those things where like your actions should have consequences, and I don't feel like anybody was having any. I feel like they just did something, and then at a moment's notice they'll switch over to something else, and nobody like address it. Like we were talking about, can't think of his name, but Kumail Nanjiani's character, and then you have the same situation with Sprite. She literally stabbed her in the back.
In the back.
And then that was it. And you're just like, oh well, no, I can make you like hold up, man. You're gonna address the like elephant in the room right now.
Right. Like, and one take, not only her, but Ikaris too. But I guess he punished himself. Can we say that? I mean, you would rather. I kind of feel like
that's the easy way out, though. I often feel like when you do that, that's the easy way out. Like, because you're really not sticking around to like try to make amends for what you do. You want to take the easy way out and get it over with quick.
Right. Because the manner in which he allowed Ajax to get killed, that's on him. He could have saved her. Not only is that on him, but he is the whole reason the Deviants were able to start evolving, because they was able to kill Ajax. And that one deviant was able to evolve and steal her powers, and then he could start taking the powers of the other Eternals. And so, that was all on Ikaris, and I need him to pay for that. But I guess we're going to have to wait to the second movie, because they're going to bring him back to have to help find all the other Eternals that they're about to be searching for.
I mean, if they don't give these guys, and I say guys generally, not just the men, but if they don't give these characters more story, if they don't give them more movies, more TV series, it's going to be hard for anybody to care about them. I mean, because we're still getting more content from the Avengers. We just finished, Black Widow, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier, and we're about to get Hawkeye. We're still not done with the Avengers, and they're bringing in new people. They need to tell us more about them, especially like, that's one thing. If you're going to just be like, look, we're dogmatically sticking to the stories and the source material, that's it, we're not deviating from them, then sure, you can skip to whatever parts of the story you want to stick to, because people will have already read it and they'll know what's going on. They can pick up wherever you start. But if you're going to just like decide you're going willy-nilly changing people and changing characters and stories, you need to develop that more. You need to give people more time with these characters so that we can understand who they are, and more importantly, why they are.
Now, see, I wasn't as concerned about that, because the ones we need to be concerned with in this arc, the way they're going, is definitely the Celestials. We have to understand Armistice and the whole Celestials, where they're going, and they did introduce, and I'm glad they didn't put him in this movie, someone in that post-credit scene, Larry, that is synonymous with not only Thanos, but the Celestials too. And if they would have tried to shove him into this movie, that would have been a bit much, because we would have been constantly asking questions. Okay, what happened to you and Thanos' relationship? How did you get away and you're helping you're helping Eternals, and Thanos has deviant gene? They didn't do that yet, Larry. So I think that was their way of kind of doing what you're talking about, kind
of. I'll tell you this movie right here, this is what I think they should have done. They should have made a 10 episode, 1 hour, 10 episode, series of the Eternals on Disney Plus. And that way we could have gotten to know each and every one of them, and we could have gotten to know the story of the Eternals and their struggles. We could have learned more about the Deviants. We could have seen some of the fights that have happened in the comics. We could have learned all that, and they could have sent an episode so we can learn about each Eternal's powers and weaknesses and all the other stuff. And then it could have culminated all of that series into a movie, which would have been this. And they could have then skipped over all of the half-ass character development that they did, because it really was half-ass. They could have skipped all that and just went straight into story for 2 hours. Because that extra 24 minutes or 30 minutes, a lot of that was character development that was really half-hearted. They could have skipped all that and just gave a straight story for 2 hours if they would have given us a series, and everybody would have been more invested in these characters if that would have been the case, because you would have known them better.
What did you think, One Take?
Yeah, I agree to an extent, though, Larry, because I don't think I was necessarily needed to spend that much time with all of these characters in order for me to care about them. Actually, for the beginning, for the first half of the movie, it's actually the complete opposite. I think I was more connected to the characters at the beginning when we seen all the past stuff, the stuff that happened with Thena, all of that. I actually was feeling what was going on with them. That connection that they had in that room when she had just tried to kill them and she had woke up and she was feeling bad about her mistake. I was feeling those characters. I think as the movie progressed, I think I started to feel some separation from her. I started to get more distance. When it first started, I thought it was cool. Now, I think another one of the issues I think we talk about is that we went straight into story, and we went straight into, hey, the Deviants are back, and that's the first thing we go into, because we was with Cersei and Sprite just for a little while, just seeing them like live life, and I was enjoying that. It just boom, here go Ikaris, and now we on the run. Now we going to see what everybody's doing. Hey, you doing this? All right, we need you to come. Hey, you doing this? All right, we need you to come. And then I don't know the other young lady's name yet, because I'm still like bad with names. The mute
Flash. We call yeah. Flash.
She got nothing like at all. Like she just popped back up, and they even did more with Druid's character, who I wasn't a big fan of him, but they gave him. And that's probably one of my only things that was kind of like bothering me. I wish more of his time went to somebody else, just because I didn't like how his character came off. But I don't think we necessarily needed a series with all of these characters. It's how we spent the time that we was with them would have been the most important thing. And I think they was kind of like speeding through a lot of like character moments.
And the chick that was Flash, man, she was tough. She was tough. Yeah. They sent her ass back to the ship because she was like, I'm gonna just chill on this ship and wait my time. She thought it was time to go. And the one thing I gathered from her, she had a lot of heart, because they was trying to hype Ikaris like he was Superman of their crew. And she ran up on his ass and she was giving it to him for a little while, and she wasn't scared of him. And if it wouldn't have been for the Deviant coming along helping out, I say she was, putting the 1-2s on Ikaris, because Ikaris ain't got the powers of Superman, which some people might think. He doesn't have super speed. His senses aren't super fast like Superman can slow down and see a flash coming. She was giving him the 1s and the 2s, man. I would have loved to see more about what was her journey when she was developed in that celestial garden. What is in her memory bank, because they did show you guys where the Celestials keep everybody's memory. They have nerve endings in a wall, and they kept everybody's memories in there and would keep erasing them so that you wouldn't know what the Celestials are really doing when they go to these planets. They're killing billions of people so that one of them can live. At one point in time, fellas, I thought that they was going to jump to a part of the comics where the Deviants and the Eternals partnered up. I thought they was about to immediately jump to that. But I'm guessing they're going to save that for when they're going to have to go up against the Eternals that could wield the Infinity Stones. That's probably what they're going to save that for.
Question: Did that not feel a little like off? Because especially like when like Ikaris showed up, because like you have the Eternals fighting Deviant and Ikaris, and that part kind of confused me a little bit because I'm like, they have two different goals in mind. Shouldn't the Deviant be also trying to fight Ikaris just so he can stop?
Well, see, the Deviants knew that they knew what the Celestials was up to. Yeah. So the Deviants was trying to fight anybody so that they could survive. That's why they was fighting Ikaris. They did not want Ikaris to be able to allow that Celestial to pop up and flourish because that was going to kill him on that planet. So that's what the Deviants were. The Deviants only cared about surviving, period. And they felt like the job of the Eternals was to just serve the Celestials and allow new Celestials to pop up and overtake the planet.
True. But at that point in time, like that final confrontation, they're literally trying to stop the Eternal, the Celestial from being born, but he was like, I don't really care about that. I need to get your power so my people can survive. That just kind of felt off to me. It's like, I understand it, but I'm just like, I feel like this is bad timing right now.
Yeah, bro, you got bigger fish to fry than trying to steal everybody's powers at that moment. You know what I'm saying? You had way bigger fish to fry because you thinking you about to survive. You ain't gonna survive. This Celestial pops up. His hand done came out the ocean, head done came out the ocean, and all that.
That looks so amazing, by the way.
See, now that's what I was telling Larry. The visuals on this movie were amazing. Yeah. I enjoyed the visuals. But Larry, how did you feel about my brother that was gay? That was the science dude. How did you feel about him and his role?
I didn't, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny or anything. I really didn't. I felt like him being gay it really felt like they were just trying to be politically correct in this moment and just sort of give the story an LGBT community member. And it's unfortunate because to me, I feel like they always do that with Black men. I feel like when you start overrepresenting people in a certain role, you're misrepresenting them. And I feel like that's what they did there. But to me, it didn't really matter to me that he was gay or straight or anything else. To be perfectly honest with you, I think that they didn't need to give him any sort of relationship. I think it was sort of pointless. Like his story could have worked just as well if they showed up to get him and he was a science teacher at a local high school in the classroom doing a bunch of cool experiments with kids, and he was basically saying the same thing. I'm done with this. I'm not doing that anymore. Blah, blah, blah. I'm living a simple life now. And you could have had the guy riding home on his bicycle, by himself and waving to his kids or whatever else. I don't even think they needed to add that element in there to make him gay or straight. They could have just had him just being a teacher or a guy worked in a laboratory or a dude that worked at Kinko's. I mean, he could have been.
You don't feel like the family element and his love for the husband and his love for that child created an even deeper emotional connection with this brother? Because I mean, that's what they was going for.
I think it was. I think this idea of go do it for our son, so maybe he can have a chance to grow. You could have given him. Go ahead.
He was another one that in the beginning didn't give a damn about the humans, but because of everything I just mentioned, he was just like Cersei. He fallen in love with the humans and he wanted to protect them. And to some degree, just like Sprite. Sprite loved the human emotions and all that stuff and wanted to be a human. But her love for Ikaris was greater than her love for humans, which is why she stabbed Cersei in the back. But back to your boy. They tried to play the emotional card with him, Larry. They tried to really make you feel invested in this dude because he was so much in love with his child. That's what made him human. That's what they were trying to do. What do you think, One Take?
Yeah, I think I get what you're saying, Larry, but I think the love for like your significant other / your child is far greater and more, more convincing than it would be like if you would just like been around humans, like, oh, these people aren't that bad, because you still see the bad in those, you still see the good and bad in all those people, but those people like that, your family, like you see the very best in them, and that's what brought them back around. You know, that was the part that you just like, okay, because I was done with these people after Hiroshima. He was done with it, but it's like, you know, these people brought me back. Like this man that I love and this child that I love, that I'm raising, that I want the best for. I think that like kind of, and granted, once again, it's one of those things that you can't necessarily see, and it's kind of just told to you that he loves them, and he, when a character has to verbalize something, you know they don't have time to like fully flesh it out. So that's what we got, and I think that's one of the reasons it just didn't come off like super. It didn't stick the landing as well, just because we didn't get that much time with him. But that's one of the ones you would probably need an episode for, where you would have saw him like first meet and separated from humanity, and then like meet this guy and end up adopting a son and stuff like that. So
see, now that would have, if we had an Eternal series before this that led up to a movie, and we had an episode or two with him in there, and we got to see that character development, we got to see him become interested in a man, because maybe he's not even what people would consider gay. I mean, he may be gay because he's with the man, but maybe he's not necessarily gay as in like, I'm only interested in men. Maybe he's just, I'm interested in this particular human, and he doesn't view humans in the same sexual gender context that we do. He just sees them as humans, and he connects with that particular human. And maybe if we saw something like that, it would make more sense and we'd be able to understand it. It just really felt like they sort of just parachuted in this gay LGBT community relationship and wanted to put some representation in there. As Big Mike, 0824 says, Disney gets criticism for lack of representation in the community. It sounds like they just threw that in there because they wanted to sort of check a box and get people off their back, and it didn't ring true. And part of it, the reason why it didn't ring true is because there was no backstory to it. There's no real, we needed, for me, I know some people don't care. I need to care about characters. Otherwise, I don't care about, I need to know, I need to understand them, see them. Otherwise, I just don't care about them. And I don't care if they live, if they die, if they get blown up. And when I feel that way, the movie's not as good. It's not as fun to me because I just like, yeah, whatever,
Now, I can agree with that, because I think the most important thing for me whenever I'm watching a movie is the characters and the ending. But I don't think I necessarily need the characters' backstory in order for me to like them, though. I think I can like fall in love with a character just about the things that they're going through at that moment. Granted, there's not a lot in this one, but it wasn't to the point where I was just like, well, if I don't know this or that, it's gonna turn me off from characters. Like I said, the only character that really just came off negative to me was Druid, and that's kind of like the dude just kind of was a dick. Like that was the only thing, So, other than that, like everybody else, I was cool with.
But he was a dick, but he was trying to do the right thing with his powers. I mean, homeboy had
right
literally, he literally had the powers of Professor X magnified with Apocalypse. He could control everybody's brain on Earth. He didn't want them fighting and going to war, killing each other.
He was trying to take away free will. Like, I don't care how good your intentions are. You want to take away free will.
Look, I mean, if you had the ability to take away somebody's free will to get in a car and run through a school and kill kids, wouldn't you do the same thing?
Oh, that's cold.
Yeah. That's what he was trying to do.
But he was literally trying to get everybody. He literally said, if I wanted to, I can control every person on this planet. Mm-hmm. Like what? And that's the thing. He even admits it at the end. If he could have did that, it would have stopped us from being human. We are people who make mistakes. Some terrible, but that's still the choice of free will. And he wanted to be, to me, it kind of felt narcissistic. He would have felt like a ruler, in my opinion.
Well, he did have his little crew at that little camp where he was ruling everybody. He had them there, and you see they looked happy. They won't fight and they won't in no war until
I feel like all leaders, good or bad, have to be narcissistic. Good or bad, you have to be narcissistic, because if you think you, one individual, you're good enough. Your ideas are good enough. Everything about you is good enough that you should be able to lead this nation of 1.6 billion or 350 million or whatever else. That in itself, the arrogance of that idea to think you're so good that you can lead all these people. I think good leaders have to be arrogant. Bad leaders too. I mean, I think if you're going to lead like that, you have to be arrogant.
And one take,
the only thing is different.
The only thing I felt like he wanted to control was them killing each other. That's the only thing it felt like to me he wanted to control. He never hinted or intimated that he wanted to control their every will, but the will to them to kill each other was something he did want to stop.
Okay. So, when the Deviants showed up, correct me if I'm wrong, did he not take control of them?
Yeah, he did.
And were they not shooting and some of them got hit and knocked out, possibly even murdered?
Yeah.
What do you think they would have done if he wouldn't have controlled them? They probably would have fled that's why I'm saying I get what he was trying to do, but in the same regards, he was there to put those people like lives in danger, and it didn't seem like he cared when they was out there getting knocked out because
he was wrong for that one take. He was wrong for that. He was definitely wrong for that. You know.
But what's the difference between him mind controlling them and having them stay there and fight versus a general telling his men stand and fight? You can't run. If you run, I'm going to court martial you. Or sometimes you hear leaders that say, if you run, I'll shoot you myself. What's the difference between controlling someone's mind by using whatever kind of magic versus using just good old fashioned human manipulation? You're still the end result's still the same.
No, you completely take away the option once you controlling them. If you're your authority and you're threatening, yeah, definitely instills fear in them. But if you're completely controlled, they have no option. They have no choice. They have to do whatever you tell them to.
No,
I would rather take my chance. I'm like, okay. I'm like, hey, you're gonna have to just shoot me today.
Oh Lord, let us bring in the big homie, the fresh cut to death, stay fresh to death. B, my cousin Avery, how you doing, brother?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. How y'all doing out there?
We hanging tough,
Avery in the
man.
building.
Yes, sir.
B in the building. Now, B, tell us your thoughts on Eternals, how you feel, and what did it make? What emotions did you get invoked in this movie?
Oh, emotions. None really, to be honest with you.
None.
I feel you. I was thinking this was lacking emotional depth. This movie was lacking emotional depth.
That's one of the that's one of my things is I just, I still like the movie, but emotions is something that didn't really, pull up my heartstrings. I kind of agree with y'all, like with Druid. He one of the characters I didn't like. No, I like Druid. I didn't like his acting. I thought he was cool. We're talking spoilers, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Larry's seen all of it except for like 10 minutes.
Okay. When they was at the house in the woods and the Deviants came and attacked them, but he took over everybody's mind.
That's
had them shooting.
Yeah,
that was fire right there. I was like, okay, this dude is live. I like him. He a genius. That was very resourceful. Huh? What's up?
Now, basically, the part that you like is the part that I was complaining was wrong on his behalf, and the part that one take like is the part that one take is saying is wrong is the part that I'm saying is right.
Nah, he that's smart. And instead of letting them fend for themselves and die and get their face bit off, he like, let me make y'all useful, and we fight and sink. That's like a life or death situation right here. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, BA. Do you not remember him saying the Deviants aren't after humans, they're after us? So those people would have been running, getting away.
Yeah, they would have got ghosts.
Instead, so they sit there shooting at them, and they're like, okay, the Deviant's like, well, I gotta defend myself. Let me kill a couple of y'all who are being mind controlled.
Well, hey, you got me there because I don't remember that line. So
yeah, he did. They did say
believe
that.
it.
Yeah.
I believed it, but Druid though, he was. I just didn't like the acting. He was.
I agree with that, B. Avery. His acting was melancholy at best.
But I feel sorry for him though. Like I feel him though. Like I was with him though. You know what I'm saying? So it's just me.
Okay. Well, cool. So, in terms of, we didn't go in depth with one of the post credits because I don't want to spoil one of them for Larry. But the very last one, we spoiling the hell out that shit. I don't give a damn Larry's seen it or not. The very last one, we haven't spoiled that one. That was when they introduced us to the Black Knight, basically. B. Avery, did you figure out the voice? Well, I guess you have because you're in the chat with us now. But the director dropped a press releasing like 2-3 hours ago. The voice is this version of Blade by Mahershala Ali.
Bam! That's what I said. I knew it. That's what I said in my video. I was like, "That is Blade, man." I that was the first thing I thought of, bro.
And did your mind go immediately to Midnight Suns?
Not well. I don't want to say that, but I see where you're going with it since you mentioned that. But yeah, I can see out of that. But man, that's what's up right there. That was Blade.
Yeah, that's Blade. And Larry, you'll probably catch the voice immediately, Larry, when you finally hear it. And so now everybody's going to be doing conspiracy videos. How are we going to introduce other people into this thing? How are we going to get to this point to point B? Because at the very end, Arnis, the main Celestial, done gone and took a couple of the Eternals for judgment and said the Earth is okay for now till his ass comes back. B. Avery, since you're new in this block, do you think when he comes back, is that the point in time we're going to get someone we've been waiting to get a real version of in the MCU for years? You know who I'm talking about. That big man that's always been in the Final Four. The Fantastic Four. Are we going to get him when the Celestials come back for judgment on the Earth?
I guess you can say that. You know, we know the Celestials coming back, and we know that that guy you talking about is coming. So I don't know who's gonna pop up first or at the same time. That would be a hell of a battle, man. Go ahead.
So what some of us are talking about is the way they have set this up. Larry, one take, B. Avery, is that on this planet, the celestial being that was supposed to suck down all the human beings' knowledge and all that, they done basically put him on ice, right? So now you need someone that can go and not only suck some energy from these planets, but you also need someone that can take care of Deviants and Eternals. Galactus is the man for the job. Eater of worlds. He's the man for the job. But do you see them introducing him into something that's going to be space-based? Because I'm not saying what's happening in the mid-credit because I'm saving that for Larry, but you saw who they introduced in the mid-credit. Someone who's related to Thanos. And they definitely going to use his punk ass. I don't know why, because his power is nothing but make people horny, but they're going to definitely use him. So how do you think that's going to play a role in what they do with Galactus?
Is that for everybody? Or
anyone who want to answer?
Oh well, I guess
I don't know.
Go ahead, Larry.
I don't know, but I'll tell you what I want to see is I want to see that reality show that Kingo's working on.
Me too.
That should be the next Disney Plus series right there. I want to see that because him and what's his name? What's his name? Kuran.
Yeah.
His valet. That dude is awesome. I want to see that show.
Yo, dude came with 20 cameras. I mean, every time they break one, he had another one.
Yeah.
Like
one thing he needs is a memory card out of there. He good.
Yeah.
Talk about the ultimate wingman. That's your wingman from hell right there, because Homeboy was with it. So here's a character no one has talked about. B. Avery, we've been up here about an hour. No one has talked about Gilgamesh. Me personally, I didn't have no connection to him. It was great what he did for Angelina Jolie, but it didn't endear me to him. The only thing that I was endeared to was Angelina's emotions when he died. That was all I was endeared to. So that was one character I didn't get. One take, you go first. Why am I wrong?
What you mean? Why is you wrong? That's one of the main that I think it was that connection between the two of them. The fact that this man said, you know what? Nah, don't worry about it. Whatever happens, I'm gonna stay back with her. If she goes, she I forgot what's the disease called. If she snaps out again, cool. I'm gonna be right here to either fight her and protect her, or she just gonna kill me because that's how much I care about her. You saw that connection. Even then, when they go to his house and they just all in the hood talking and laughing around, his back and forth with just Sprite, they're just talking, connecting. That's one of those character moments that you just really get the bond with those characters. And then to see him lose, all because he had to protect her, and every time he told her.
That was like talking to the hole.
What are we doing? Like every time he put that hand out, you didn't feel nothing?
Nothing. I felt for Angelina Jolie. How about that?
This is one of those times, man. They needed 2 or 3 movies of the Eternals before they brought this out, or at least like a 10-episode series, because then we could have had a more understanding. We could have had more of a connection with them. I felt nothing. Like this whole show, I felt nothing for any of them. I had no emotional connection with them. The only one I sort of halfway connected with was Kingo because he was funny and he was easy and light he was easy to like, and that was it.
Now I was into Thena, man. I can't lie. I was tied to Thena, but some of why I was tied to her was because of Gilgamesh's relationship with her. But it didn't endear me to him. It endeared me to her.
See, I think I'm a little different because I think I was with Gilgamesh, I was with Thena, and I was with Sprite. And one of the reasons I connected with Sprite earlier is we see when she's with when Cersei is with Kit Harington's character, can't think of his name. We saw she was basically cockblocking, like, hey, let's go, because she doesn't have that. So then we get to the end of the movie and we find out like why she does the things she does, because she's not able to have those connections with people. You see how she was cock blocking early in the film.
Are you talking about Sprite was cock blocking?
Yeah. Okay. So it's like I understand not all of them why I'm just super tired to, but I think that's another one of those things where I felt the stakes, like I said, before we found out this is a world-ending event. I felt the stakes because when Gilgamesh died, it's like, oh wow, that like people are actually in danger. Ajax had already died. It is Ajax, right? Yeah. She had already died, so I'm like, okay, it's up. I don't know who's gonna get knocked off next. And true, I can't deny that if I would have been with these characters for a longer period of time, it probably would have hit me harder. But I think it's all about the acting and how things are executed when characters are killed off. And the way Gilgamesh was killed off, and we already saw his connection with Thena, I felt for him. Just like I felt for Thena when she was snapped.
I'll just say this. The visuals of this movie saved this movie. Because if it had not been for the visual, this movie probably would be right there running neck and neck with Captain Marvel.
What?
It was entertaining enough that you weren't asleep, but it wasn't one of those movies where if it comes on again, you're gonna put your remote down and just watch it.
I respect that.
I'm mad he disrespecting Captain Marvel. I like that movie.
The ending messed it up for me. I couldn't get with the ending on that one.
The ending of Captain Marvel?
Yeah. Like the last act kind of.
Well, let me ask you fellas this. Did you like the way Thena killed the Deviant? I kind of felt some kind of way about that. I felt like the battle should have been a little bit more harder. I feel how he trapped her and was about to suck her power, and she used her emotions to lure him closer. But I felt like it should have been a little bit more of a battle than what it was. Maybe I'm nitpicking here. What do you guys think?
It was cheese at her versus the Martian Manhunter was cheeses. I don't know what.
I mean, this was like the Deviant super soldier. Literally, he evolved, could suck people's powers. I mean, he already had Gilgamesh powers. He had the healing powers. Somebody else powers he got. I mean, dude was legit.
And after thinking about it overall, the Deviants just wasn't my favorite. You know, I wanted kind of more from them. You know, they weren't trash, but they were just like the bad guys.
Nah, the Deviants were trash, B. I told Lamont, because I didn't think I was gonna get to see this movie. I just spent the last like week and a half reading the last like, I don't know, 7 years or something of Eternals comics. And so I'm like, source material's fresh in my mind. I'm like, the Deviants in the comics were dope. These Deviants were a bunch of dumb they were whack. They gave them no personalities, basically. They were cool to look at because they were like, you know, fancy CGI stuff, but they were terrible characters. There was no character to them. In the comics, they had all kinds of different Deviants, all kinds of characters. They just said, you know what? Screw that. Let's just make them a bunch of dumb, mindless monsters.
Larry, I promise you, on another planet, the Deviants are going to be like Thanos. Promise you. Maybe the ones on Earth just hadn't had the time to evolve properly, and you just start seeing the beginning of them evolving. But I promise you, in space, you're gonna see some hellified Deviants. I promise you.
Because if we start seeing some Deviants like the one we saw at the end, now things are getting a little bit more interesting. Because true, these Deviants were just, I don't know, like Harry Potter monsters or something like that.
They were primitive.
They
were primitive.
They were just, you know, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand that.
So, but yeah, I'm with that. But overall, before we get out of here, I just want to get you fellas, Larry, scale of 1 to 10, 10 being best, 1 being the worst. What you gonna give the movie?
I know you guys are gonna hate me for this one.
All I want to know is what if this is going to be your worst Marvel movie, you got to tell me what's higher. What's higher? You got to tell me.
No, this is not the worst Marvel movie.
Okay.
I'm going to say that it's second to worst. I'm going to give it like a 6.
Oh, that ain't
maybe
bad.
A 6.5. Only reason why I give it a 6.5 is because I think I gave Captain Marvel a 6.
You did, because we did the review. You did.
So I'm going to give it just a little bit more than Captain Marvel, only because I thought the visuals were better. That's it.
Great. It was great. It was great.
That's it. But to be perfectly honest with you, if I had to sit down and watch another movie between those two, I'm watching Captain Marvel probably first, because I can stand to watch that more than I can watch this. And this movie is just way too damn long. Like, I want my screen time, like 2.5 hours of movie time. You need to give me 2.5 hours of solid entertainment. I don't want the movie to be 2.5 hours just because you can say, well, we made it 2.5 hours. We gave you guys a ton of movie. I want 2.5 hours of good movie, you know, or cut it back to 2 hours and give me 2 hours of good movie, you know?
So B, that was one of my gripes about the movie. The pacing felt very slow for me, like a DC movie type thing. But I mean, once it was a certain point where it got slow for me. For like maybe the first act and a half, I was cool with it. Then it kind of just dialed back for me a little bit. But anyway, one take, what you giving the movie? Scale of 1 to 10.
Scale of 1 to 10. Because I think my review, I gave it like a C+. So I'll probably go a 7.5.
Okay.
Definitely don't think it's the worst Marvel movie, because we still got Thor 2, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Captain Marvel.
Oh, God.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2. There's some.
You forgot to mention the first Captain America.
No. That too.
No, that's just straight blasphemy.
Doctor Strange, throw that in there too.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, throw that in there too.
The stream is over, man.
Yeah, Doctor Strange.
Man, I don't know about that.
Iron Man.
I was with you. I was with you on all the 2 Iron Mans. I'm not with you on the Thors. Guardians of the Galaxy, I think I'll watch that again before I watch this.
I'll watch both the Guardians of the Galaxies whenever
the first one, but the second one,
those were dope.
The second one was just a comedy fest. That had nothing to that movie.
I need you to go back and rewatch that one.
Yeah.
The second one?
Yeah, the second one was dope.
Nothing to that movie other than the soundtrack.
A Celestial.
Also, why does everybody hate Fat Thor?
Oh Lord.
You know?
Because he don't look like a hero.
That was the whole point.
That was such a
taking a vacation.
Bruh, I mean, the same way you feel about Fat Thor is the way some people feel about when they interject certain other libations, and I'll keep it at that, into the movie. So, B. Avery, having said all those things, what do you rank the movie?
I gave it a 7.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm not even that far off, man. I thought you guys were gonna hate it. Boy, I knocked it. I wasn't even that far off.
Bro, you ain't far off at all. I mean, this was nowhere near a perfect movie, Larry.
Right.
This, I mean, it's a cup holder, and I say that in a positive manner. That's not negative, but I mean, it's a placeholder, man. It's not like it's not gonna blow you away. It wasn't bad. It's about a 7. I mean, it literally is about a 7. So, B. Avery, in your Marvel list, what do you rank below this movie?
Don't
you dare say oh God.
Thor 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
1 and 2? Damn.
Especially 2. One was not a bad movie. Thor 2 was bad.
Thor 2 was not
worst
bad.
movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, Thor 1 wasn't bad. I just like this more. Iron Man 2 and 3 is worse than this.
Yeah, Iron Man 2 and 3 was horrible. Yeah, definitely.
I might say Captain Marvel was worse than this because of the ending.
What?
No, you know, I still like Captain America 1 better than this. I love that movie. What are the movies we have?
Don't forget about that stupid second heist movie that sucks.
Whoa! Don't even do that. We're not even doing that.
MCU movie.
That Ant-Man 2 mess.
We're not even finna do that.
Ant-Man.
I forgot about those.
Exactly. That's how sucky they were, Larry.
It's probably in my top. It's probably in my top 20 though. I gotta think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta think about it.
Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this doesn't happen as much because everybody's busy, but you got the whole crew here tonight. B. Avery, Living Legend Larry, One Take Big Dog. Me and One Take are going to try our best to squeeze in a little Titan talk somewhere down the road. We might even have to talk about what's going on Young Justice because that stuff is getting crazy. It's getting crazy over there, man. That thing is right this season. You ain't been worried. Go ahead, Larry.
You know, I had a question for B. Avery. Does he think that this might be a result of the Oscar curse? Because it seems like the directors that win Best Director for the Oscar the year before, their next movie is complete doo-doo. Maybe not complete doo-doo for this movie, but generally what happens is their next movie is it just doesn't hit that hard.
What was who came before this? Who won last year? I can't remember.
She won with Nomadland.
No, I'm saying
that was her last movie.
Who won before that?
Who won before that? The director for was it?
Yeah,
Parasite?
Chloe Zhao.
No, I'm saying who won before Chloe Zhao?
The
year before.
That.
Oh, the year before that.
The director for Parasite, right?
I can't remember if that was Best Director. I know it won Best Movie, I think. But I can't remember if they got Best Director.
Best Director.
I don't know though. I want to say curse. I don't know what happened.
I don't think Nomadland was good, so I can't.
I'm right with you on that one, man. I'm right with you on that one.
That movie was mediocre as they get, man. Come on.
Yeah, man. I'm right with you on that one, man. It was middle of the pack for me too.
So
at best, wow.
Her Oscar win was her slump.
Oh man, wow. So fellas, I'm gonna ask you guys what you got going on in your channel. Then we'll let you guys get out of here. So Larry, we'll start with you. What kind of tech can the people look forward to seeing from you coming up soon?
I'm working on some reviews of this new camera, the DJI Action 2. It is a little action camera like that, and it's kind of cool because it has, it's sort of a module camera, so you can take it off, and that's actually the camera itself right there.
Oh, no doubt. Uh-oh.
Anyway, I think I disappeared for a minute. So yeah, but it's magnetic, so it snaps together like that with different pieces. So it's kind of a fun thing to have. Shoots 4K. It shoots anything from 4K from 24 frames a second all the way up to 120 frames a second. So it's got some pretty powerful internals in there, yet it's still super small and light. So I'll be working on that. I have some other stuff. Someone sent me a treadmill. So
damn.
I won't be able to give Lamont many more excuses about why I'm not really exercising, since I can do it in the house now.
Span that lung, my brother. Span that lung.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot of the same stuff I have here. I have a lot of microphone reviews coming up. A company sent me a lot of microphones, and I finished those reviews, so I'm scheduling those out in the coming weeks, and I'll be doing. I think I'm gonna do some Christmas gift, like some Christmas gift, compilation videos, kind of like what are the best gifts under $100, or what are the best gifts under $20, stuff like that. And I might do, I think I'm gonna do some giveaways. I have some giveaways already coming up that are already in the works, but I think I'm gonna do I think it was in October, I think it was, or September. I did a whole week of giveaways. I think I might do the same thing again this month. I think I might do a week of giveaways.
Okay. One take, what you got going on your channel?
I just finally got a chance to record there, so I just record a lot. I got a couple trailer reactions to the Morbius trailer, the Boba Fett trailer. I got my Eternal review gonna go up right after this video, after I get off here, because I actually got to see it last night for the first time seeing a movie opening night in a while. I got Doom Patrol review coming up for today's latest episode, which has been like phenomenal. If you like tragic characters and good like character development, I definitely suggest you check out Doom Patrol. Also have my Stargirl season 2 finale review going up tonight. Well, actually just went up. That show is phenomenal if you're a DC fan or just like lighthearted stuff, but also stuff where you can feel the stakes in it. I definitely suggest you check that out. The new My Hero Academia movie that came out this week from my anime lovers, I got a review for that going up. So yeah, most of the time it's going to be a lot of like TV shows, and I also have one for a show that I got to watch, Only Murders in the Building. It's a show on Hulu that I highly recommend to people. It's like a true crime kind of like podcast, but in the story sense. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got working on right now.
Wow, no doubt. B. Avery. Oh, go ahead, Larry.
I forgot to mention, I haven't done like a live stream in a while, like one of my Wine and Winners giveaway shows in a while. I'm going to do one of those fairly soon, sometime this month, because I'm only about 280 subscribers away from hitting 50,000. So when I hit 50,000, I'm going to do one of my giveaway live streams and give away a whole bunch of stuff. So, check that. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, because once I hit that 50,000, I'll send you guys some invites, see if you want to come on with me, and I'm going to give some stuff away.
Congrats, brother. Keep fighting. Congrats. What you got going on, B. Avery?
Is that Miss K in the chat? If so, what's up?
That's Miss K down there.
Good.
Rewind that with Miss K.
Already. What I have next is my review for The Harder They Fall will pop up in the morning. Phenomenal film. Also, my King Richard review will be right after that. Shot that last night.
What's King Richard?
Will Smith movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Will Smith, Serena Williams.
Venus and Serena Williams movie.
Okay.
So yeah, The Harder They Fall, King Richard review, a ton of trailer reactions, some of that one take just mentioned, and then Sunday I have my Power episode 3 recap and live show with Struggles, and Saturday tomorrow I just have my movie news roundup show.
Cool.
Wait, Power? There's a new Power out?
Did I say Power?
Insecure.
My fault. Insecure.
Oh, okay.
My bad. Insecure.
You were about to have Lamont's channel blowing up. Why aren't you reviewing Power?
I know. They were like, what the hell wrong with you, Mott? Go. So you guys already know what you're getting from me. You're getting Hightown with the wife. And since BMF is not coming on this week, I'm going to be doing a live stream with Hightown Monday night. And keep in mind, the creator of that show and the showrunner is going to be being in the interview with me and the wife at the end of the season. She's called me, hit me up, and she's interested to talk to us about that. I'm going to have some videos for you guys on BMF. I'm going to have some videos getting ready for Hawkeye. That's going to be me and Larry exclusively. And then we're going to get ready for Power. That'll be a bevy of other people. I think B. Avery is going to be doing that one too. And then we got to start talking about all this other stuff that Marvel is going to be putting out. So you guys just sit tight, enjoy yourselves. We're going to keep you thoroughly entertained. I have officially broken up with Professor Megram. No more lock and key for me. I'm done with her sex-loving ass. And that's going to do it for this video. I'm done. I'm out. No more. I told my wife she ain't got nothing to worry about. I'm done with Professor Lock and Key.
So are you team Effie or are you team Diane? What are you?
I ain't gonna be team nobody that's sleeping with Tariq. Tariq is in a love triangle. He's sleeping with Diana, he's sleeping with Effie, and he's also sleeping with the other one. So I ain't in no, I'm done. I'm done with the females on Power. Done. Forget it. I'm done with it. I don't got nothing to say to them. They look like they stink to me now. That's how I feel about it.
Oh, man.
Don't forget to like that video, comment, subscribe, check out all the brothers, like their videos, share them so we can continue to grow this wonderful content by some minority, great content producers. Till that next Sex is Hell video, I'll see you.
Peace.
Peace.